Hey, it's Slay, and this Tuesday vlog will be slightly more structured. Today I'm going to go over personal experiences and endeavors. So for this one, I've decided to focus on Shutterstock. If you don't know what Shutterstock is, it's a stock image website that you can either contribute to or sign up for, and then you have all the rights to use whichever photos that you buy for whatever purposes you have, essentially vlogging or YouTubing, whatever. So several years ago, I made an account on Shutterstock. I was kind of in a bad spot and I couldn't work anywhere outside of my apartment, so I was looking for options to pursue passively online. Suffice to say, crowdsourcing sites for proofreading and YouTube gaming videos didn't really do anything for me. Shutterstock seemed like a great idea at the time because I had photos, I liked photography, and what else could be better? I watched a couple videos about photographers that make their living on Shutterstock, and I decided that it was right for me. Well, it wasn't, but it was worth a try. Over the span of a couple days, I made an account. I uploaded approximately 46 photos. I'd mostly taken all of them in high school with my mom's camera. As I'm making this video, that number is the same. I can just show it to you right here. 1 second. There you go. I've got $1.75 in earnings, and I've got 46 photos that have been approved. And apparently I'm not completely finished making my profile. I think it's just because I didn't have a website to link to it. Apart from all of my other failed ideas, though, I still find Shutterstock appealing. I do love photography as a hobby. I've got a nature photography Instagram at Slady Photography if you want to find me. It's mostly nature macro. And since I'm not planning on monetizing those photos on my own by making prints or personally selling them to bigger, better sites for profit, I think I should at least get like a quarter from people if they want to use them. It's 2019 and I've decided to look into this again. I have to kind of look up whether the site is even still a thing. Clearly it still exists, but is it in any way beneficial to use? Are there better stock image sites out there that every photographer is using? So I'm looking it up. I'm letting you know. What am I doing? After watching several of the most recent and relevant videos of 2019 stock photography on YouTube, it appears that Shutterstock is still, in fact, a thing. It's still the largest site available for contribution. Stock photographers reportedly make majority of their money from it compared to other available sites that have popped up in the last couple of years. That said, most of the videos I watched that were willing to go over the specifics of their earnings, break it down, and suggest marketing strategies were not inspiring. Yeah, I mean like inspiring as in their photos were really beautiful and it looks like they're doing what they want to be doing, but looking at the actual proportion of pay to time spent on the work that they're doing, it's not worth it. A big tagline for a lot of the photography videos are geared towards a get-rich-quick mentality, which is, I mean, I would love to do that. I'm into it. They're mostly titled, make 1,000 this month with videos or photography sort of deal. But the ability for them to do that is based on conditions and a foundation which no one genuinely just picking it up without previous skill or equipment can do. The pull for a video by a channel called Photerloo was that he made $35,000 in 7 years, and that's great, but that's much less than minimum wage at a job for 1 year. The appeal of it is passive income, obviously. You put up pictures and you watch the money roll in very slowly over time. I agree that that's great, but based on the flooded market and the amount of effort you have to put in for high quality marketable images, an average Joe getting into this will have to devote much more than a part-time's worth of time and energy to get started. Arguably, probably more than a full-time if it takes learning how to photograph in the first place, upload everything, learn how to tag things, the trends of the site, so on and so forth. Which is me, because I suck and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Another question is, do you already have a good camera? Most people do on their phone, but for these stock images, generally they want a much higher quality pixel count, but just very, very high quality big file size images, which generally you want to get with a Canon camera, is a prerequisite. So if you don't have a camera like that already, there's all of the earnings you'll ever be likely to make in the first year of doing stock photography as a job gone in that single investment before you even started. Because apparently professional stock photographers not only have to spend hours editing and uploading and tagging images, they have to do it over several sites. That's something I didn't expect, and I am not down for. These professionals are spreading themselves over 3 or more sites. Photorloo, the channel that I just mentioned, says, the one that made $35,000 over 7 years, said that he's got images for stock photography spanned over 23 different sites. That's a lot of metadata to rifle through and organize. A channel called Mango Street made a good point about sites to focus on based on the photography that you do. They were pretty inspirational in their ability to find and fill niches for stock photography, and suggested that using smaller stock photo sites with better quality images was more likely to yield profits due to the higher percent wages and the unsaturated market. However, then they proceeded to show what they do for a photo shoot. If you want successful stock images that are not just nature landscapes and shit like I do, you need people doing things or a fuck ton of props and space to display them. I am awed by the amount of scheduling and budgeting that goes into such a proposed easy access side job. When you're scrolling through photos online, you don't often think about, is this person in the photo an actor or model? Did the photographer hire them? Did the photographer choose their outfit? Did the photographer plan the shoot site and the time of day? Did the photographer have to buy all of these props just for this one picture? Stock photographers that make intro videos about joining the ranks are lighthearted with their information, and it tends to cut through the reality of their job. They don't just pick up a camera and shoot. Every few good photos they sell can be a day's worth of work and investment. Days. We get caught up and fascinated by the idea of passive income, but no real grounded idea of the effort that actually goes into making it work. So, it's 2019, Shutterstock is still a thing, and I'm still not fit to be a stock photographer, apparently. I think the most representative of how passive income works was a video by Ollie King discussing his earnings as he had just started as a stock photographer. Why is that so hard to say? Just 10 months ago, and he's currently averaging about $10 a month. And as this business is supposed to go, your earnings are meant to rise with the accumulation of your portfolio. But guys, if you're not in a position to make just $10 a month for however long it takes, don't think about quitting your day job. It's a little late for me on that one to save myself. I'm not saying don't do stock photography as a side hobby, but mostly don't count on it for any kind of real income. I'm going to go and upload raw photos I've taken for Instagram and tag them on Shutterstock in a non-committal fashion and see if after several months I've made more than a few bucks, and I'll let you know. If you like my photography, you can find it at slady.photography on Instagram or on Shutterstock. I'll leave the referral link in the bio below if you're in need of stock photos. If you've had any luck selling photography or even buy stock photography for your own creative means, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Who are you? What do you do? I've never known someone that buys stock photography. Nobody in the creative sphere ever talks about it. Nobody goes and this is the kind of images that I look for when I'm doing this, and I don't take them myself. It's usually you just boast about taking the images yourself or not say anything about it at all. So yeah, who are you? What do you do? I sit around searching dead-end monetization schemes, so you're probably more interesting than I am. Okay, that's the end of the video. I'll see you next week, and stay salty.